Welcome to Wednesday Wealth, where I break down how athletes are building generational wealth today from their contracts. My name is Edoardo Grandi. When I was 18 years old, as a student athlete, I entered my college classroom wondering and asking myself in the finance class how were professional athletes creating wealth and business ventures outside of their sport. So I launched a podcast called The Sport Businessman to speak with wealth managers, agents, entrepreneurs, athlete businessmen, and CEOs to understand how athletes were creating wealth beyond their sport. So the World Cup is underway. Erling Haaland is an important example I'm going to be using today because today athletes are not just collecting salaries, they're building companies, investing in intellectual property, and acting like founders. The old model was get paid, endorse brands, and hope that the career lasts while cashing in money from endorsement. But today, and it's been since 3, 4 years, the new model has flipped everything because athletes today use money from their contract as seed capital to build equity and ownerships into businesses. They invest in content creation, media, technology, and brands that consumers love, creating intellectual property that can scale at the global level. Now, I mentioned Haaland in the beginning because he's a core example where when he's not playing in the World Cup with Norway or scoring goals with Manchester City, he has invested in the World Chess Championship. And this is an example of tapping into a global intellectual sport audience. He has backed and invested into an animated Viking universe, creating intellectual property that can be exported and can become shows, games, merchandise, and also deals through licensing. He's also built a brand around Nordic mythology, which has a global cultural pull and a long term commercial potential. It shows the pattern which so many other professional athletes like Kevin Durant through his investment firm 35 Ventures has built. Steph Curry building anonymous media. Federer becoming a billionaire athlete through ownership and doing a multi-billion-dollar IPO through the business which he invested in called On Running. Naomi Osaka, LeBron James, Serena Williams through her investment firm called Serena Ventures owning an NFL team, the Miami Dolphins. These are strategic moves called equity and ownerships and not endorsements where the athlete just collects money. They're building companies the same way that institutional entrepreneurs and founders are doing. So, the core lesson that I find interesting to share with you today is that real wealth for professional athletes in this modern age comes from ownership and not just income. Because Haaland is preparing for life after football. He's trying to build an empire around his core interests, his cultural identity, while he's still playing. Athletes that today think like founders are able to create institutional wealth. They're going to be able to build, own, and scale, and then repeat the same thing. This is how professional athletes today are creating wealth outside of their sport directly from the money that they earn from their contract.